Some of the biggest arguments on the internet aren't about truth, they're about preference. Today, I want to talk about 9 things that I think we should stop arguing about. Men need women and women need men, vice versa. So we all have different functions and different things that we're great at doing to where when we come together, we contribute to each other. We have different strengths. Of course, it's good to have your independence as an individual person, but when we come together, we benefit each other in ways that is so helpful. And that was our natural design and our natural makeup, which is why you have one of the other, one of each, and one of the other. So we work better together. The partnership matters. So what we do when we come together, the work that we can get done when we decide to work as a team instead of working against each other. Sometimes we hear all of this stuff. You may hear the manosphere saying that, women are this or women are that, or make sure that your woman's doing this or make sure that your woman's doing that. And then you may hear women saying, well, men aren't good unless they are doing this or unless they are doing that. But in actuality, all of that is not true. And it's just a bunch of talk that can get us to comparing each other, to comparing relationships, and get us to the point where we're looking at each other like, are we getting enough? Or looking at hearing something on the internet and then going back and looking at our individual interactions with the opposite sex and weighing whether it's enough or whether it's not, just based off of a video that we heard on the internet. We have a shared purpose that when we come together, it makes us so much better just learning to work together instead of being in opposition all the time, because that accomplished absolutely nothing. The Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, they're totally fine. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So if you have someone that wants to take you on a date and that's where they decide to take you to, that's absolutely okay. It is the thought that matters. It's not about how much money that a person is spending, how wide and deep they're able to open their wallet for you. It's about the fact that they thought about you enough to want to actually engage with you in that way, to want to take you out, to want to put, a meal on your stomach. And it's mainly about what's going to happen during that time. So if that's going to be a conversation to get to know each other a little bit better. I think people put so much focus on the restaurant instead of actually asking the questions that should be asked. Like, how do you feel about this aspect of dating? How do you feel about this aspect of relationships? What is your background? What is your plans for the future? Where is your credit score? What ideas do you have about finances? It's not until it's too late that people start to ask the questions they should actually be asking. After they have children and children are in the picture, now you're able to judge and decipher, oh, well, this person is that type of person, so I don't want to be with them. But you brought a whole life into the world and you didn't even get to ask the proper questions that you should be asking during that date at Chili's, during that date at Applebee's, because we're too caught up on the restaurant and how much money is being spent. Like, no, let's use that time to ask the proper questions that should be asked. Use that time to really figure out who that person is beyond just how much they're spending at the moment. When you put so much time in the performance, you actually miss out on the important stuff of what needs to be asked. Because when we lay down with someone and if something does happen to where a life is produced from that interaction, you're spending more than just 18 years interacting with this person. You're spending graduations where you're going to have to go and interact with this person. You're spending moments just outside of graduation and school functions, past 18, weddings, ceremonies, celebrations, grandchildren. So it's something to really think about when you could just rewind back to that date at Applebee's, that date at Chili's. Even if, let's say, you decide you go to the most expensive restaurant, if you're not having the important conversations that need to be had to prevent you from running into these pitfalls in the future, then in a way, it doesn't even matter. So less performance, more of the conversations that need to be had. Relationships differ from relationship to relationship. So sometimes you hear people talk about the 50-50 rule, like, okay, if this person is giving 50, then they should be getting 50 back. But that may not always be the case. As a matter of fact, that's not always the case. You're going to get a different dynamic and a different percentage in different categories and in different relationships. So like, let's say you may have someone that is contributing more financially, but then you have someone who is the other person who is contributing more to the finances or the kids. And that doesn't necessarily fit into a gender role. So that could be the man or the woman who decides to stay back with the children and one becoming the main earner. You could have one person who is more emotionally aware than the other person, so they're giving a higher percentage in that area than the other person. So the person who is providing the finances, they may come with a higher percentage, but in the emotional intellect area, they may be contributing a lower percentage to the relationship. So that's just something to consider. It's never going to be the same percentage in each area of the relationship. People are going to come with different percentages, and that's how we actually help each other. So if you're low in this area or I'm high in this area, then I can help you here. Or if vice versa, I'm low in this area and you're high in this area, then you could help me here. So it's just about working together and seeing where you could actually help each other to advance, to grow, and to expand on your potential, individually and as a unit. So don't compare your relationship to someone else's relationship, because you may be comparing something that you have no actual and factual idea of what's going on. So something that you see on social media, it may be a glimpse of the moment, and to you it looks good. So it's like, okay, well, I want what I see because that's what I've seen. But you're not behind the scenes to know what that person is actually dealing with to get those results, or what they have to put up with to get, what it is that they're getting or be in the position that they're in. And if you find out, you actually may not want to be a part of that or want to have that in your life, or you may not want that type of love to find you. So just be careful what you're comparing your situation to, and make sure that it's realistic. Cheaters are going to cheat. So if you could be a cheater whether you're rich. You could be a cheater if you're poor. It doesn't matter about the finances. If you have it in your heart to cheat, then you're just going to cheat. It's about the person's character and their moral. What type of morals have they instilled? What have they been raised to believe, and what have they come to believe with just in their own understanding, or them being an adult? What have they come to believe? So, and that's why I say it's so important in the dating phase, instead of worrying about finances, worrying about how much money that person have and what they're going to give you. It's good to figure out what is their character. So at those stages, if you're asking the right questions, you can figure out, like, okay, is this person a cheater? Do they feel like they need to have everything that's walking past? Do they feel like they need to have, everybody on the earth instead of just building consistently with one person? And if someone feels like that, that's absolutely okay. That's their choice. But as long as they give you the heads up and they give you that fair advantage to say, this is where I'm at, and then they pass the ball to you to make that decision, and you can say, okay, either I want to deal with this or I don't. So that's what the dating phase is used for, to have time to have those discussions, to have time to make those discoveries. So even if someone doesn't tell you directly, you can kind of get a whiff of, like, is this person a person that is, like just dating everybody, dating on and off, or their last relationships is always the other person's fault? So you can kind of get an idea of who they are and what they're about. It really all boils down to accountability. So as adults, we can't tell anyone how to live their lives. It's just a matter of figuring out, okay, this is how you live your life, this is your standard. And then once we find out what that standard is, we can accept and take on accountability from there and say, okay, this person put it on the table, I put on the table what I want, what I expect, what I'm willing to do, so everybody can be accountable when the truth is given, when the truth is told and is put on the table. Being single is absolutely okay. So it's no rush to be in a relationship. And sometimes when we rush into relationships, we are rushing into something that is absolutely not good for us. It's better to be at peace than to think that you have to be coupled up, to think that you need to be with someone just because your friends are all with someone, they're settled down, they're married. So you, like I said, you never know what anyone is going through behind closed doors and what they have to do to maintain that. So if you have your peace, if you are in a place of self-discovery, that's the most important thing over just trying to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. It's about peace over pressure. So there's no specific timeline. Don't put yourself on the timeline as other people around you. Take it at your pace, move at the pace that you need to, and do what's best for you. Make decisions that are going to be best for you. It is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Build your life to the best of your ability and build your life in a way that you know is going to make you happy. I think when we see all these things on social media of how people are living, the cars that they have, the homes that they have, people at, they're going to this place, going on that vacation. And in actuality, when we look at it, it looks like something that we want to do. It looks fun. And it's like it can make us internalize certain things and be like, well, what's wrong with me, or what do I have going on? When the true answer could be that nothing is wrong with you. It's just that you're moving at your own pace, and that's a good thing. So like I said, you could receive the blessing that someone else had that could be put on you today. You could get $1 million today, and that may affect you in a different way if you are not mentally prepared for that. So sometimes it's good to, not even sometimes, all the time it's good to pace and build at whatever rate that you're going, because that allows your mental time to catch up. That allows you to make whatever corrections that you need to make in your life. Being that you don't have such a big spotlight on you, you have that time to do so. So nothing is wrong with you. Just keep moving at your pace. Health first. Health is wealth. So you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, if that's something that you're not focused on and you're not locked into, because you spend so much time just trying to make it, and you haven't been worried about your health, you haven't had a doctor's appointment within the last year or two, then take that time to really go to the doctor. Put that on your to-do list for today, for tomorrow, before the day is over, before tomorrow is over. Make sure that you schedule yourself an appointment if you know that it's really been a while. But take that time to ask yourself, like, have I been checking on myself? And not just your physical health. Sometimes that can mean your mental health too. So if you need to go to a counselor, go see a counselor. I think in our community, it can be considered taboo, like, oh, something is wrong with you if you need to go talk to somebody, or that's considered to be a waste of money that you need to go talk to somebody. But no, it's not. Sometimes we need to talk to people and we don't realize that we may have stuff that's sitting on us, that's been heavy on us, and we need to get that out. And sometimes just hearing yourself talk about stuff and process it out loud is going to be one of the most important things. You can hear yourself talk about it. You can figure out solutions to work through whatever it is that you need to work through. So you don't have anything if you don't have your health. You have to make sure that you're protecting yourself physically and mentally, and it's a daily investment. When you do things to, whether it's taking vitamins, get you some vitamin D in your life. If you know that you need some iron pills, get you some iron pills, get you some spirulina, whatever it is that you need, make sure that you have that. Going on an exercise, doing a walk, doing your juices. Take you a fast every now and then. You could exclude bread from your life. Like right now, my husband is doing a bread fast, and I think that's awesome for him. So he's been on it for about 30 days. He's thinking about expanding it. A while back, I did a fast where I refrained from meat. So just adjusting things to how it's going to work for you is mostly important, because sometimes what may work for one person may not work for the next person. When I recommended that he do a fast where he ate no meat, that actually didn't work out for him. So it was better for him to just reduce the starches, the bread, and the rice. Invest in your health, invest in your mental health, your physical. Make sure that you are in a good spot at all times, because without your health, we have nothing. And the last thing is, social media is social media. So like I said, what we see on our timelines may not always be the reality that we truly desire in our heart, even if we think that it is. The only thing that beats everything is living in reality, living in your full potential in reality in your everyday, doing things that make you happy, doing things that make you healthy is going to be the most important thing. With social media, we can end up making false comparisons that don't actually translate into real life. So we just want to be careful with that. People spend too much time arguing over preference and not enough time building healthy lives. So whatever you do, make sure that you keep these facts in mind, and make sure that you are doing whatever that is going to contribute to you having the best life possible. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, whatever you can to do to support the channel. It really helps me, and I want to let you guys know that I appreciate you. I'm grateful that you're here watching, and until next time, peace, love, and blessings.